Hello, my name is Ryan Meyer. I'm a technical marketing engineer here at Dell Technologies. Over the course of this video, I'll be discussing how Zero Trust security principles are leveraged throughout the Dell NativeEdge platform, as well as a demonstration of some of the configurable security features within the NativeEdge Orchestrator. Before I jump into Zero Trust, let's first consider security at the edge. There are many aspects of edge security that are different from traditional IT security that you would typically see at data center locations. Breaches at the edge have a direct effect on people since these locations may include digital cities, power grids, factories, hospitals, and so on. There is also a larger impact on business operations at these locations, affecting things like cash registers, product quality, communication systems, and even patient care. If hospitals, energy facilities, or airports are not up 100% of the time, for example, this can have a direct effect on public safety. The infrastructure at these sites typically requires the highest level of compliance and are usually bound by regulatory constraints. When considering dark sites, without internet connection, security is even more important, as these sites often contain highly confidential data. As you can see, edge estates cover more than just your typical IT infrastructure. Devices such as sensors, robots, cameras, PLCs, and other monitoring equipment must also be considered. So what is Zero Trust anyways? Zero Trust architecture is defined in the NIST SB 800-207 specification. It is an approach to cybersecurity that focuses on the principles of not trusting anything or anyone by default, regardless of their location or origin. In simple terms, it means that instead of assuming that everything inside a network is trustworthy, Zero Trust assumes that nothing can be trusted until it is properly verified and authenticated. By adopting a trust no one, verify everything mindset, we can enhance protection against potential threats and unauthorized access. Dell NativeEdge is built upon this mindset and follows the 7 pillars of Zero Trust. Let's review some security features found in the NativeEdge platform. When considering the NativeEdge-enabled devices, security is at the foundation of our architecture. Secure device onboarding with FDO ensures all NativeEdge-enabled device hardware and software is validated starting from manufacturing all the way to the point of installation. Our vouchers leverage public key infrastructure and hardware root of trust to verify the hardware is authentic before bringing any devices into the ecosystem. Then, each NativeEdge-enabled device uses secure boot to ensure only Dell-signed NativeEdge operating systems will boot. Additionally, the NativeEdge operating environment running on each of these devices is immutable to prevent any modifications by malicious users or software. BIOS is also locked down to protect from anyone tampering with these settings. For supported PowerEdge devices, Secure Component Verification, also known as SCV, is leveraged to assure additional hardware integrity. And for the iDRAC management of PowerEdge devices, access is controlled and restricted by the NativeEdge Orchestrator. NativeEdge Orchestrator itself follows role-based access control standards by assigning team member roles, granular password policies, optional multi-factor authentication, and managing user login sessions. Over the network, NativeEdge Orchestrator securely communicates with both the user and NativeEdge-enabled devices on a multiplex connection through HTTPS port 443. This connection is encrypted using mutual TLS. The user interface and SMTP configuration support trusted certificate authorities for environments where encryption is required. And client access to the user interface can also be restricted down to the specific client IP address and subnets. Now that we've learned about how NativeEdge leverages Zero Trust security principles, let's go through some security configuration settings in the following demonstration. Starting from the dashboard of our NativeEdge Orchestrator, users can monitor their NativeEdge-enabled devices by viewing the device, virtual machine, and application deployment status. Additionally, any alerts or events happening in the ecosystem are displayed. On the left navigation bar, we can see several security configurations from the Settings menu, such as Identity Management, System Settings, Entitlement, and Security. Identity Management focuses on user accounts. Administrators may edit the password policy to conform with their company's standards. The Teams tab allows you to assign roles to each user, which will restrict access to specific functions within the user interface. Under the Users tab, you can create and manage user accounts. When creating or editing a user account, several fields are required, such as username, first and last name, email, phone number, and a password that meets the password policy requirements. Multi-factor authentication may also be enabled for an extra layer of security. From this page, you can also lock a user account from login. On the Web Session tab, you may view any logged-in users and log them out manually if necessary. Under the System settings, a user may configure an SMTP email server, which is not only used for monitoring and notification purposes, but also for configuring multi-factor authentication. Under the Remote Management tab, the administrator may specify the client IP address ranges and subnets that they wish to have access to the NativeEdge Orchestrator interface. Under the Entitlement page, users can verify each NativeEdge-enabled device voucher, NativeEdge license, and also any certificates. For environments that require signed certificates from a trusted certificate authority, users may upload their PEM-based certificate chain for both SMTP server configuration and for browsing the NativeEdge Orchestrator user interface. On the Security page, the administrator can control the user login security policy with settings such as max login failures before lockout, enabling permanent lockouts, the maximum session timeout, the account lockout time, and the idle session timeout. Also note that the user interface is secured with TLS version 1.2. This concludes the overview and demonstration of Dell NativeEdge security based off Zero Trust principles. For more information on NativeEdge, check out dell.com/NativeEdge. Additional resources and videos are also available on our NativeEdge Info Hub at infohub.delltechnologies.com. Thank you.